All right. Hey, everyone. This is Walt from White Label Suite and, of course, White Label Snapshot as well. I am absolutely thrilled to be on with our special guest today. We're going to be talking about exactly how a snapshot should be built. There's an incredible framework behind this. There's an incredible thought pattern that's gone behind every single part of the assets of the snapshots that we're going to have a look at today. The man himself on the call has created an incredible structure, an incredible system, has traveled the world, and is a GHL professional who is really helping build their own businesses and make great strides with the company and really just put amazing things into place for the people that are buying GHL from the agencies so that they can succeed. So with great amount of pleasure, I would like to introduce Vit Muller. Vit, hi, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Hey, well, thank you so much, man. What an intro.
Great to see you, man. Now, I've been a big fan of your work for a long time. Our team have been a big fan of your work for a long time. Ebony from our customer success department speaks volume to you. And now I'm getting to see why, because I'm looking at your work and I'm going, this is a professional. This is somebody that absolutely knows what they're doing. So, dude, talk us through, like, we've got a couple of snapshots to talk about. Talk us through how they came about. Talk us through all of the different things with why you created the assets that you have, and steer us through like the start to finish.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'll do the short. Basically, I started on my high-level journey about 2.5 years ago. In the first 6, sort of playing around, and then I started to take on some clients, and I started to do some custom work. Started to do some, like build funnels for them and all that stuff. Then I started to go down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out like how to do more than just like a one funnel. Like maybe it was for a lead conversion. How could that then turn into like the next step, which is like once you acquire a customer, how can we generate some reviews, things like that. And I would do these custom projects, but every time it was like scratch, building it inside a client sub account, and it wasn't standardized. And so whenever I then had to go into an account to fix something, each one was different. It was just a nightmare, just too much work. And on top of that, clients wanted some tweaks and all that, which is fine. It's just too much. So then I stepped back a bit and I looked at the whole thing and I realized, I need to kind of create more like a snapshot to standardize it, because that gives an ability to roll out and fulfill quicker. If I have a standardized thing, then I can customize stuff, but it's not having to build everything from scratch. So that's kind of the first idea. But then when I got into it, I started to build this massive snapshot which encompassed everything from lead conversion, the lead nurture campaigns, to generating referrals, generating reviews, the whole lot, all in one. It was just so much. And not only it was so much for me to customize and install and everything, but also it was a lot for the client. The learning curve, the implementation, like it takes a while before the client fully like understands everything. Like you might have a snapshot and you rely mostly on automations, but there's always going to be the manual tasks that the client has to do inside the CRM, right? It's a two-way street. And so the learning curve around all that was just too much. And that's when I realized, I need to kind of create more like a modular. I need to break it down. I need to create like a modular. And so then at the same time, it was just leading up to Black Friday, and I was on a 297 plan, and I was looking at, like really sort of taking it up a notch and looking at all these legends in the community. And, I started to look at, there's Matt DeSano from HL Pro Tools. There's Mike Kuch. There's a bunch of other ones. And so I started looking at which one has like a really good deal, like if I sign up and upgrade through him. And I decided to go through Mike Kuch. And the reason I decided is because he was more on a strategy. He has some resources as well, and he's got a really great community. But the big thing that for me was the strategy, and I needed the strategy bit. And his one is basically an R4 method that he calls it. And it's basically a method where you start to first focus on fixing business's reputation as opposed to going straight to a lead gen. Because if you do just a lead gen and the reputation is not great, then that obviously impacts conversion. So that framework. Then I'm also very much of a nerd, and I like to build my own shit. And so rather than sort of jumping on and utilizing some of the snapshots that he has, I actually just took the framework, but then I built my own snapshot. So I started to build Modular, and that kind of ended up into what I've got now. So I'm going to show you what I've come up with. So initially I started to build these snapshots, and so this is my website, which I built specifically for agents, vitmuller.com, which is all about helping other agencies. And what I'm going to get to is It's obviously the affiliate part is obviously another revenue streams. Why not? But what I want to show you is the profit roadmap. So the profit roadmap is basically an idea where you've got those snapshots, which are these ones. These are the snapshots that I have. So the essential business being appointment booking system, and you got reputation, referrals, repeat business system, which is all to do with increasing lifetime customer value, then sales conversion. So these are all the individual snapshots, and the idea is that each one, is installed and customized at a particular time of a business journey. And the idea is that all of them, like every business kind of needs all of them, right? The way I've designed them, they're not niche specific, they're industry agnostic, which is great because then you can repurpose it for any niche just by customization. So the profit roadmap is basically a framework where you've got, the first bit of the relationship with client, a SaaS client, you want to level up their business really fast. Detailed. So the essential business is how you level up the business, the critical systems for impact right away. And what it does is it has proper email marketing set up. So this is all, like, everything I've done here is based on my learnings and being in the community. Like Kristen Rushman, she's the legend with email to inbox. So I took some learnings from her, I implemented it in this one, and it's really good because it sets you up for a really good foundation of how you should do email list building, right, and stay compliant with all the A2P, 10DLC and stuff like that. So that's what I did with that one. And then all the other ones sort of just follow. So the idea is that you sign up a client and you do this within the first month and you level them up. Then within, say, roughly around month 2, you start to implement the booking system with the appointments. And then you sort of go down the rabbit hole. So the whole thing is about a 12-month journey. And each one takes about a month, setting up, customizing, and educating the client. And when you do it like this, you kind of spreading out the risk. Also, you have something to continue to provide to the client as opposed to do something just one-off at the beginning and there's nothing more to keep the excitement going. So that's what's kind of the idea is there. Now, what I then did is I realized, well, I've got these snapshots, which is great. Where was I? Here. I've got these snapshots, which is great, but I need to plan forward. Like if I hire a VA at some point to do fulfillment for me, I need to document the whole thing. And that's where I realized a lot of the other snapshots that I purchased from before that I tried to look at didn't have a great level of documentation. So if I did like download one, I was kind of left a bit confused, like what I do, right? And so that's where this came about. So I then created documentation for every single one of the snapshots. And the initial idea was to do it for myself because I need to document it and then have it ready for when I scale and hire people. So each documentation has basically, like this one here is like 300 pages. It's nuts, 270 pages. But basically what I've done is I've explained the technical steps, what you need, like the required resources pre-set up, the stuff that you need to like run past the client, discuss with the client first, or resources that you need of the client first. So that's what that one is. And then you've got a setup. So how do you go about setup? But what I also did is and this is like a bit of a due diligence where I actually documented every single piece of the snapshots or like every single asset. So in technical specs, what I've done is you got the automation workflows, the emails, everything. And the reason for that is not just to, just to like due diligence, just kind of like write it down and see if I've missed anything, but also to create a point of reference, which is the main thing, because especially point of reference with things like emails, because if you build a whole bunch of automations and each one has some emails, like how do you know how to find it, like yourself? Like you might know if you build it, but other people might not. So this is where, having it like this, where for example, this workflow, it tells you, like the details, like how does it get triggered, what happens, and you can see, okay, so these are the actions, right? So this, for example, this email gets sent and you can actually click on it and it takes you to that email so you can see the script. And then you can scroll down and you can actually see down the bottom the other relationships that it has. So, okay, you can say, so you use, like this workflow, and these are the triggers that I use, and these are the custom values. So yeah, so that's kind of what I did. I documented every single piece, every single custom value, like how do you do it? Why is it there? Every single tag. Well, I'm not going to go into detail, but you can see the extent of it anyway. And so now that I did it, I realized, so because what happened is I put myself down in a full development on these, right? So I wasn't really promoting anything. I wasn't really grown. So I got to a point where I started to worry about cash flow a little bit. And so that's when I realized, you know what, I actually need to, you know, start like selling these snapshots just to help with income. So that's where I decided, you know, like at the same time I signed up with you guys. That was about a year and a half, a year ago or something, with the lead, you know, the tool, and then you launched the white label snapshots directory. So that's kind of everything just came at the right time. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna list it there, and yeah. So that's the documentation. That's the long story short. Now on the white label suite on the website, what I did is obviously I have it for my own clients, but I wanted to, you know, provide like really good information about like what it is before you buy it, because that was also another thing that I found is some snapshots, not only they didn't have good enough documentation, but you didn't really know what you're buying. So when we look at this reputation management system, as an example, you'll be able to scroll down here and you'll be able to basically get all the information that you need. This particular snapshot, I like to call them systems rather than snapshots or modules. But what I like about this one is that it incorporates AI. So what I've done with this one is I play around the AI ChatGPT, which is now built in as part of the premium workflows, and using Bannerbear, which is a image generation API software online that you sign up for, and then using a combination of those two and Zapier, I'm now able to, with this system, what you can do is review comes in through Google, triggers it in Zapier, pushes the data out into Bannerbear. Bannerbear creates a graphic, which is like this one here. So you got an example here. So you got like Daniel Murray, one of my clients, review, pushes in Zapier. You get data into Bannerbear. Bannerbear generates, like takes the data and then puts it into a graphic, and then that sends it back to Zapier, and then Zapier sends a hook into High Level. In High Level, premium workflow kicks in for the ChatGPT, which generates the response to the review. And what happens now for the end client, what you're presenting the client with is, hey, you received a review. This was the rating. This was what they've wrote. Here is a recommended response that you can use, so you don't have to waste your brain power trying to think, especially those dreaded 1-star reviews. When you are working, you've got a busy day, the last thing you want to do is like trying to figure out like how you're going to respond to a 1-star review in the most professional way, because you don't want to come across like an idiot where you're just negating what the person said. There's a bit of an art, right? Like writing proper response to reviews, because it's public, right? Yeah. And if you do it properly, you can actually come on top. People read it and actually realize that you are the better person, and they actually can put you in a better light, even though you got the 1-star review. But once again, it's brain power. You have to think about it. It takes time. GPT takes over it. You don't have to. You just get a
emotion just creates an amazing
especially response. The emotion bit. Yeah, that's what can really sort of be a bit of a roadblock, because you're putting emotion, especially as a business owner, you put an emotion to it. You're pissed off initially, and then you know what I mean, a whole bunch of like different mixed emotions come into it. So that's also taking energy and focus out of your day, right? So you might actually spend maybe 30 minutes on how to respond to it. Once you've done it, you might be thinking about it for a couple of more hours after that, just being like, just sitting in your head, like what went wrong or why, and like
it can completely derail your whole day for sure.
Yeah.
So I think this is fascinating, man. So you created these systems because of your background with running an agency, creating everything by scratch, like every single time you've got a new client to recreate something, and recognizing that creating these systems that you can then just duplicate again and again and again, which in our world, we're calling snapshots, led you to create this. And then the incredible documentation, the incredible like resource maps that you've put behind this make this super easy for anyone. They're niche agnostic, so you can literally be in any space. Now, I was looking through your the Essential Business Marketing System one, which is your first one on the graphic. Yep. This is like every business. You've got leads, you've got lists, you've got like, there's nothing in there that any business wouldn't need. And I think that creation of a first step in the system is a fantastic way to get people inducted. And I love the way that you've built that kind of 10 months roadmap. So a lot of the time when we're talking to clients and they're signing up clients with their GHL agency, one of the things that they battle with, of course, is churn, and creating something of value that's going to continue to keep that client paying them every single. And what you've been able to do is build out those wins on a consistent basis that you can continue to drip back into your client, which is amazing. Like that gives that longevity to the client journey.
And the other thing also with that is the financial aspect, because obviously you get your clients sign up on a SaaS plan. You might have one of the three plans, but then for each system, the way I do it for each system, there's a fixed amount that the client pays on top of the subscription, right? And that's
Perfect.
a couple of grand per each system. Looking around $2,000, around that. So there's one system that's maybe like $5,000, but the point being is that if you had to do all that, it'd be like a 20 to 30 grand, to ask to a client. You can't ask the client right at the beginning. I mean, some
No,
might
you
pay.
haven't proven yourself. Yeah.
Right, and you haven't proved yourself. So what this also allows you to do is that you ask for a smaller amount at the beginning, like a $2,000, plus the subscription, which might be a couple of hundred. And with each system, you continue to improve their business in either saving their time or money, or help rate more leads, or just overall get more optimized, so they can see the value, which puts money back into their pocket. So when you come back in the month 2 and say, hey, you ready for the next system, pay us another couple of grand, it's a lot less of a it's not as a difficult thing to ask for. Like,
No, for sure.
how do you say?
Yeah, no, I get it. Absolutely. So that's an awesome way to go. Do you start every new client with the essential business systems?
So it is in a particular order. You shouldn't really skip to the last one. And again, going back to the R4 method by Mike Cooch, right? Do the essential, then go into appointments, and then do the reputation system. The other thing at the beginning is also, which is not really a system, it's a website. So if the client doesn't have a website, they need to have a website. So you do that at the beginning as well, but that's separate depending on if they have it or not have it. You just quote them separately. But again, because when it comes to reputation, really, people might think about reputation just being reviews. But reputation is your online presence. How you present yourself, and the website is a big thing. So that's why it's all like at the beginning. Yeah.
Fantastic, man. I love it. So as we look at the snapshots that you've created, the essential business system, the reputation system, the ultimate appointment booking system that's in the Snapshot store right now, how many hours have gone into these snapshots?
Right. I've been developing for close to 6 months now.
Wow.
Not just that one snapshot, but all these other snapshots that I've developed. Put it this way, like, just to put together documentation is about a week of intense, just 1 week, just even more sometimes, just documentation.
And it's an incredible thing. I mean, what we know about Snaps and what I love about them, and especially you set up the licensing through the Snapshot store, which they can literally buy that system from you for the price that you've got it listed in the Snapshot store, which is amazing. And then they can deploy that to all of their GHL sub accounts as they bring on new clients. They can buy this asset one time and they can roll that out again and again. So literally duplicating the work that you've done. 6 months worth. And again, I'm looking at the documentation going, I've never seen anything like it. It's such an incredible relief to look at a professionally built system like that and know no matter where you are, you can grab that program and literally just follow the steps and you're going to have the result at the end. You provide the onboarding call, which I think is amazing. I've never seen that with a Snapshot before ever. So actually working with someone to help them get set up, I think that's fantastic. Unlimited updates anytime you're updating the documentation or the Snapshot itself, which is fantastic. So anybody that's looking at these programs, Vit, they can buy this for the cost, the one-time investment. They have an asset that they can then deploy over and over and over again. They have an opportunity to really leverage the work that you've put into it. And you've built it in such a way that it's a step-by-step framework that people can just follow. So I absolutely love it, man. And my highest recommendation for anybody to come on board and to grab this with you. If you had to start again, if you had your time again, you got to wind back to just getting started with GHL, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently thinking about the systems that you've built here?
I mean, yeah, don't know. I mean, one thing I would do is start building these snapshots earlier. But then again, I don't think I would be able to, because it was all about the cash flow. So I needed money up front. So I had to take on some projects to create a bit of a cash flow pillow, which then allowed me to go into full development and just live off the money for that time period.
I think that's amazing, because you had to take on clients and therefore build the system as you go. Whereas somebody that's coming now can take that work that you've done. Like you said, if I could have, I would have built these systems earlier. Now people can actually get started day one. They can grab this program and they can accelerate those deliveries to their client. They can make things a lot easier for themselves as an agency to grow. So I absolutely love it, man. To So guys, if you would like to head on over to whitelabelsnapshots.com, we've got Vit's products there featured. So we're starting with the Essential Business Marketing System, Reputation Management, and Ultimate Appointment Booking System there on the Snapshot store. Head on over, and again, from a professional in the industry, looking at the work that Vit has done, it is absolutely top level. It's an incredible program that he's created. You can see the work that's gone into it and built in a way that you can take it to your agency and roll it out again and again, following a structured program, and make that an easily accessible system for you. So Vit, thanks so much for coming on board, man. I appreciate the time with you and the work that you put into this, and look forward to hearing of the success with it all. Send as many people as we can to you, because I think this is a system that everybody should get behind.
Thank you so much. I should point out one more thing, a little secret. I'm working on another system, which is, so these ones are for end clients, the agents use for clients, for fulfillment. But what about the agency?
Yeah.
So I'm developing a snapshot based off my own agency, which has, you know SquareUp?
No, I haven't heard it.
It creates an audit tool that generates dynamic results pages, and so I developed in my own agency as a tool for ability to sell higher ticket on the front end. So that's the other thing. I mean, you've got another call, so I don't want to take time because I get too excited about this. But if you have a few more minutes, minutes, I can show you.
Go for it, man. Go for it. Yeah. We always love the sneak peek. So this is the sneak peek for everyone.
Okay, all right. So I'll show you the sneak peek. I'm using this thing called Freeform, which is an Apple.
Which is awesome. It's Apple's answer to Lucidchart is great.
Okay, so this is actually, now what you're seeing is how I've designed the whole thing. It's a bit extensive, but that's kind of how you do it. You do the visual map first of what you're trying to develop, and then so here we go. It's probably just buffering. It's a bit slow. Sorry, guys.
No, it looks amazing.
Yeah, so you got the snapshots, but there needs to be a system around how you promote the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and how do you sign up clients from the beginning. So this whole thing covers both the acquisition but also the management of the client over the course of time, in line with the profit roadmap system. So what I've done is like a direct sign up funnel, which is a traditional 3-step pricing options, and then you go here, which you can't really see here. But if somebody's ready to buy now, they just buy the plan, and then they go on a second page where there's a one-click upsell for done for you account setup. If somebody's not ready to buy, they go on a demo call, which they can opt in to view a pre-recorded demo video. And if that's not enough, then they can opt in for a live demo. So that's again like trying to save you time, not having to do live demos every time. And then there's some qualification call that you go through it. Then you show them the live demo, and then you qualify them. And if they're ready, then you point them back to the pricing pages. Now, what's good about this path is they sign up for a plan, they pay a couple of $100 a month, and then you set them up, you onboard them, and then what I've also built in is succession planning, which is a big thing, because every business that you sign up, you're not really signing up the business owner. It's their team that's going to be using the system, and who are those people? Okay, well, every business needs to have some sales reps, some marketing people that might be like scheduling socials, and maybe some managers. So what you do is you want to get the buy-in of the owner first on the call, on the front end. Then you want to get them educated. You put them through a quick course, which is just an overview of the owner doesn't have to go on the nitty-gritty. But you want to get their buy-in and get them educated and enough so that they get excited. And then with their help, you organize a team onboarding. You tell the owner, hey, I want you to lead it, because this is a thing that you're implementing in your business. And you introduce us, and then you introduce your team, and then we'll create a bit of a team harmony. We'll talk together, like in one call. And to your people, will explain, why is this change happening? Because one of the biggest things in any organization is when you're making change, and if you don't put enough importance to this process, if you don't educate your people get confused. And especially in corporations, change management is a big thing. Look it up; it's actually a really big thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is why I've designed it this way, because it's about success. The client needs to be happy, and they need to be fully indoctrinated into the system. But it's not going to happen if the team is not, or you have the opposite, where a business owner just delegates this task. Hey, sign up for this software with these guys to an admin person. Now the admin person is bought in, but the owner is not. So again, internally on the client side, it's not congruent. And then you as the agency, as the software provider, you're then pushing something that not got all of them on their side, like really sort of embracing. It's not really the ideal way how you do it. So that's kind of how it happens. And then once you fix that, once you've got that handled, everybody's excited, everybody's fully informed, nobody's confused. Then you start going into the setup. So you go, the essential, the appointment. Each step requires some assets. And so this is what I want to show is with each system, there's going to be a workflow and actual funnel that the client's going to go through to provide the assets that you need in order to set up the system. And then with each system, you then obviously ask for the money for them to pay you, and then it just creates a bit more of a streamline where you can like really sort of fast track the setup. Now this is what happens on the regular plan, right? So they go through the journey, and then you're having to upsell them throughout the whole journey of the 6 months, which should be a no-brainer if you're doing it well and the clients are happy. Every month you come in and you're pitching the next thing, and you go through a process again and again, right? But if you wanted to sell high ticket on a front end, because you might have some clients that are like, they're ready to buy everything now, why would you do that, right? So this is where the other funnel comes in, which is a high ticket funnel. And that one is kind of different. You drive traffic to like a business audit, which is an automated tool that, about 30 unique questions that I created. And it generates results based on a total score. It sends them the email of the results with proposed what they should do about it. And then obviously there's a call to action for them to book a full audit, which they can pay for. And then at that point, you can ask them for access to some of their assets and then review and provide, generate the full audit. And then on the discovery call, you go through everything there. Sorry, no, that's the wrong way. You do the discovery call, which is the call to action on the back of the audit. You do the discovery call where you qualify them. If they are a good fit, then you suggest them that a strategy call needs to be made and a full audit needs to be made. Now at this point, you get them to pay for it, which is again qualification. And then you've got a template that you work off a Canva template. You create a proposal, which is, it's a hidden proposal inside a strategy. So that's how you do it. And then on the back of the strategy call, if there are a good fit, then you actually you propose the whole thing. So you propose the whole profit roadmap thing, systems, 20, 30K commitment, and get them to sign up. At this point, they're excited, they want to go ahead, then you just send them a contract. You get to pay the invoice, let's say if you do like a deposit, and then they pay some installments. But the main idea is that you get money upfront and commitment upfront, and at the same time you send them off to the pricing plan to pay for the subscription. So that's like another way how you can go about it. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually packaging it up into a snapshot that agency will be able to install and have basically that, so that they'll have the stuff to be able to generate.
Amazing, man. Amazing. When do you think that one might be ready?
Well, I've got all hands on deck and want to get it done until end of August. With that one, I should point out is that I'm kind of half whether I want to open the floodgates or make it more exclusive and only offer to a limited amount of agencies, because it is a USP aspect, unique selling point. Yeah, sure. If everybody has it, then you lose that USP. So I'm probably more inclined to maybe just a couple, maybe 10 agencies max. I've got a couple already lined up. They're like just waiting. So, but yeah, when I have that, I'll let you know more.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Thank you so much. It's awesome to see what's coming through as well. So guys, head on over to the White Label Snapshot store. Do make sure that you catch up with Vit's work. He really does have an incredible methodology of building assets that are going to be able to pay you back for a long time when you're picking these up and bring those into your agency. Vit, thank you, man. I really appreciate your work. I can see the incredible amount of detail that you're going into here to make other GHL agency owners successful in what they do. So thank you, man. Appreciate you. Great to see you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next call when you release the next one.
Awesome. Thank you so much.